Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the course. My name is Dan Toohey. I'll be your instructor for, I believe this is a semester-long online course. Philosophy 223, Perspectives on Death. It's basically philosophy of death. We'll be looking at root issues, basic issues having to do with the philosophy of death, which gets us into varied subjects, and sometimes very deep into really conceptual issues regarding death. Maybe some questions that we're familiar with in our own, typical thinking as human beings about death. What is the nature of death? Is there any evidence that death is the absolute end of human existence, or that there is something like an afterlife or something like a continued existence of death? We'll be looking at the question of grief. We'll be looking at the question of the possibility of different versions of the afterlife. And I think that they're getting to some incredibly important issues, not only in philosophy, but in human life itself. So I wanted to talk just a little bit today about those themes, very briefly. I mean, I'll be doing a lot of videos where I talk about what I consider to be the significance of the readings that we'll do. There's no book to buy. All the readings have been uploaded to the course Canvas site. And the first thing you should do is to go to the Canvas site, look at the modules, see how the thing is arranged. We always start, for instance, this week we'll be reading Epicurus, his letter to Menoicus, which is right here. Just click on that, you'll find it. You'll find if you click through this link here, you'll find a discussion board. I may put some stuff up there, but the thing about the discussion board is that it is a totally free thing. I don't like giving prompts for discussion boards. What I like to do is to see, first of all, you need to make a substantive comment about the week's reading. I mean, it doesn't have to be really long. It doesn't have to be a formal essay, but a paragraph or two on how you responded to the reading, and in whatever way you did. I mean, just your thoughts about the reading. So don't wait for me to write something for the discussion board. Go ahead and do it. Every week you'll say make 2 to 3 posts. One will have to be, well, this is what I think. So these are the ideas I had, questions I had, problems, whatever, with the reading. And then make 1 or 2 responses, thoughtful responses to what other students have said. Try to do that as early as possible during the week. I don't know what happened there. You'll see that every week there is the reading, starts with the reading. There's a discussion board, which again, I encourage you don't wait till the end of the week to do it. I mean, the due date in which you have to have all your posts done is Sunday at midnight. That's what I consider to be the end of the week. So this is the week of 8/27. I believe it would be 9/2. You would need to have posted to get credit. And you do need to post on time to get credit for the discussion board. It has to be during the week. You can't do it later. You won't get credit for that. And then every week there'll be a video or a set of videos. This week there's only one. Just click through it and you'll be brought to my YouTube channel, in which you'll find a video in which I talk about the reading. I try to give you, something like we would have had in the classroom, where I make remarks about the reading, trying to clarify it, say some things about it. And these are just very informal videos that I make, just like I'm making now usually at my kitchen table. His letter to Menoicus. And I don't know if you watch them. I don't. Rough contemporary. I don't track them, but I think that any student who wants to do well in the class would first of all do a very thorough job doing the reading, but would also take a look at these videos in which I express my thoughts. They're meant to be helpful, and I've read these texts many times, and I certainly not brilliant or an expert in anything, but I think I have a few things to say that might be helpful. So yeah, you'll see that every week there are basically 3 things: the reading itself, the discussion board, and the videos that I've prepared. there's a kind of a loose. I'll amend the syllabus to reflect this, but there are some loose sort of themes going on here. Really, modules or not modules. Groups of readings that relate to each other closely. And the first group is the first three readings: Epicurus, Nagel, and then Bruckner and Fisher. And we'll see why. Really, focus very tight focus on this question of whether death is a bad thing for the one who dies. And if that sounds silly at this point, to ask such a question, how could death not be a bad thing for the one who dies? Well, you have to read Epicurus, who is really a brilliant and challenging philosopher of death. And we'll see how Nagel and then Bruckner and Fisher were responding and trying to refute Epicurus's idea that it makes no sense to say that the one who dies has experienced a bad thing. It's just so we'll move on. Then the second module or the second group is basically weeks 4 and 5, Jonas and Gray. And I have to finish this. I have to put things up, but it'll get up when it needs to get up. Plato's Phaedo and Landsberg's The Experience of Death, which are these two kind of huge statements about the possibility of an afterlife, which is something that Epicurus denies the possibility of. Really kind of two very, very profound and fascinating philosophers. We'll then move on to, I guess, the fourth grouping, Hartshorn and Jonas, on kind of different ideas about the possibility of some kind of survival of death or what it would mean. Less ambitious than Landsberg or Phaedo or Plato's Phaedo. And then finally, we'll end up the course reading some things about grief. Donald Gustafson's academic treatment of the nature of grief, and then C.S. Lewis's very personal treatment, which is really probably one of the most profound things, again, I've ever read about the question of death, and especially the question of grief. That's basically what we'll be doing, how we'll be doing it, except for your participation in the discussion boards. And that's kind of a completion assignment. If you do a credible job, on time, where you express your thoughts and respond to one or two other posts from other students, you'll get full credit, or one point. But the major work you need to do is to write a series of essays. There will be 5. Okay, the first essay here will be due September 24th, and will be basically you stating your opinion about the central question of the first 3 texts, which is whether or not it makes sense to say that death is actually a bad thing for the person who dies. You'll take a position, you'll think about the arguments of the first 3 readings, and you'll state your opinion and defend it. All of the essays for this class are between 750 and 1,000 words long. That would be typically between 3 and 4 pages. So really short essays or mid-sized essays. I'll have something to say perhaps about, as we go on, about the kind of things I look for in good essays, but basically well-written, thoughtful, showing a command to the text. You don't have to write about everything that's in the text. It's really, really focused on whatever issue it is here. Just basically you deciding whether death is actually a bad thing, and what arguments actually support your opinion, why they're better than the arguments of the opposite position. So again, we'll have plenty of time to have communication about what I consider to be good essays. I will be finishing up that and giving you due dates, but basically, can think of it this way: the first group of readings is weeks 1 through 3. The due date for the first essay will be the 24th of September. The second essay will be on Jonas and/or Gray, probably due first week in October. And then we have a kind of a long stretch here of Plato and Landsberg will be due probably sometime just before or after Thanksgiving. And then Hartshorn and Jonas, and probably the Lewis Gustafson essay will be due well into basically final exam week, the end of final exam week, probably something like the 14th will be the last to do that. But that'll be done soon. I may even put these things up tonight. Okay, what do you need to do for this class? What do you need to do to succeed? What do you need to do? Well, you have basically these weekly things where you do the reading. Okay, you click on it. And I think it should come up. You can just download it by clicking that link here, or just wait for it to come up. This should be the letter to Manoicus. Believe me, if there's anything wrong, if I've messed up with a link, please let me know, because I'm going to need to fix that as soon as possible. But what you should see here is Epicurus's letter. Here we are, the letter to Manoicus, this wonderful, profound piece that was written, in 2,500 years ago by this ancient Greek philosopher. So that's the first thing. Let's do the reading, and read it thoroughly. This is really bread and butter of the course, is to gain a good grasp of each one of the texts, so that you're in a position to write good essays. Right? Use the videos. The Epicurus video is just one video, because Epicurus's point, however profound it is it's very simple and straightforward, so there's no need for extensive videos. But you'll see that I've made, I think, 3 or 4 videos on Nagel, because it's more technical. It's academic philosophy, modern academic philosophy. I think it needs more. So again, of course, watching these videos is optional, but I can assure you that students who do well in the class typically pay attention to the videos. Why wouldn't you? It's what your teacher thinks about the reading. Why wouldn't you want to know that? Pretty simple, really. Your weekly thing, your weekly routine is to do the reading, watch the videos, participate in the discussion board, and get your thoughts together for the 5 essay assignments, which, again, I'll have that up. Some of this is unfinished. It's clerical. I just need to take some time to make sure that it's all up. But, you're ready to go in week 1 with the material on Epicurus, and then some following weeks. If we take a look again at the syllabus, I have some things to say about, generally speaking, about, how I think of the course objectives, requirements. There will be no final exam. I'm not interested in that, especially in an online course, really. So, the discussion board participation is a fairly minor thing, and it takes care of itself. It's an ungraded assignment. If you do what I've asked you to do, make these 2 to 3 posts per week, and do it in a thoughtful way, you'll get full credit. The essays will be graded on a 5-point scale. I have that in there about final exam. I'm going to take it out, okay, because there's no reason for a final exam in the class the way that it's structured. So I'll be adjusting the grade thing. Instead of 47 possible points, there'll be 37, so I'll adjust this. Ignore that for the moment. So really what you want to focus on are the essays. And really that means there's 2 stages. One is a reading stage. Really 3 stages. One is a reading stage where you struggle to get to the point where you really feel like you grasp the basics of what's going on in the readings. Then you express your ideas in a discussion board. You listen to what other people have said. You listen to what I've said in the videos. And then you sit down and write the essay and clarify your thoughts. And that's work, writing essays, especially about difficult subjects in philosophy. So again, I'll be getting rid of that. I just no reason for a final exam essays are quite enough work and quite enough opportunity for you to display what you know rather than a kind of a final exam at the end. So I will be adjusting that. One more thing. Okay. You got to write essays, and there always the possibility that when students write essays, they will plagiarize. I really don't expect that to happen. Everything that you write will be run through the plagiarism detecting software, and I'll be using my own judgment about those things. I don't look for plagiarisms, but sometimes they're obvious. Papers that have either been taken from a paper mill or are papers that other students have written about similar topics. You just can't do it. And yes, so plagiarism will result in failure of the course. I mean, the whole course, right? And it goes without saying, as I said there, that I would need to have proof, and I mean absolute proof that you did plagiarize, and it wasn't just a little rinky-dink sort of petty idea here or there. No, I mean plagiarism being you're presenting someone else's work as your own. I do not expect this to happen. There's no reason to. Every one of you can do well in this course. So that's it. I mean, good luck. Get started this week. We have a fairly short reading in Epicurus, but very powerful. And it takes a lot of thought. There's some very simple ideas that he has, I think, but they're challenging, and they kind of force us to clarify and to make our thinking about death more rigorous and challenge us. So feel free to contact me, as I put my contact information. Do not contact me through the Canvas site. Contact me directly through my LaSalle email, which is on syllabus, or feel free to call me on my cell phone. That is fine too. If you have any questions about the course, about what is going on, what you need to do, please contact me either by email or feel free to call me. I really don't mind. So it's a great subject. It may be a difficult subject, death, but it is one that is very rewarding philosophically if you choose to really get into it.